Hi everyone, I am Mikey Evers for City Lights on Novus TV. We are here at the Museum of Vancouver for a brand new exhibit called Neon Vancouver, Ugly Vancouver. Now, our urban environment has a lot of neon lights at the moment, but back in the 50s and 60s when they were brand new, they created quite the controversy. They even questioned the values of the city. So, let's take a look around. Can you tell us a bit about Neon Vancouver, Ugly Vancouver?
Sure. So this exhibition is the second exhibition of neon that the Museum of Vancouver has done, but it's unique in that it's actually telling the story of what happened to neon signs in Vancouver. So back in the late 60s, early 70s, there's sort of this war going on between people who liked neon and people who really wanted it out of the streets. We have some photos here that really illustrate just how cluttered the streets had actually become. And this exhibition actually tells that story. It features pieces that have never been publicly shown before and some pieces that we've never even seen in working condition. So,
What was the inspiration behind the exhibit?
part of it for the curator, Joan Seidel, was that the Museum of Vancouver has 55 neon signs in its collection. So part of it for her was bringing out some of those signs, getting them in working condition, and properly telling that story. And while she was thinking about how she could do this, she was also approached by Walter Greba's widow. Walter Greba's a photographer from Vancouver whose work had never been shown before. And it turned out he had these just perfect signs showing the streets during the day to give people a really good idea of what it actually would have looked like on the streets during the day in Vancouver.
Do you notice a big difference from what you're seeing here in the exhibit as to what's on the streets at the moment?
I went out and I did some videotaping of the streets, and there certainly is a difference, particularly after looking at these old photos in the exhibit. You go back out on Granville Street and you're like, oh, Granville's got tons of neon. Granville hardly has any neon compared to how many signs there used to be. And there's one photo in particular that's at Hastings and Abbott, and it's looking towards the Save on Meat sign, which everyone is pretty familiar with. And today, if you stand in that spot, there's almost no signs on that street. There's a Save on Meat, the Army and Navy, and you can't even see the signs because there's trees in the way.
Do you know why they actually decided to minimize the neon lights?
Yeah, there was a movement by the Community Arts Council to say it was kind of an identity crisis for Vancouver. It was the first time it was being really aware of itself in terms of the eyes of other cities, and saying basically these signs are a tawdry display, it's advertising at us all of the time, and we want to actually appreciate Vancouver's natural beauty. And so this Arts Council kind of went around, they had displays of what was tasteful design, and started this conversation that became this big back and forth of editorials and talks to the Board of Trade about getting the signs down and making Vancouver sort of a more tasteful, sophisticated city.
I'm not actually in a diner. I am actually in the 50s part of the exhibit. Now, the exhibit runs from now until the end of August of next year. We're here at the Museum of Vancouver in Vanya Park. It runs from Wednesdays through to Sundays, and tickets start at just $8. It's a great way to spend the day with the family and learn a little history about Vancouver. I'm Mikey Evers, and you're watching City Lights.